Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander Score studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a fun one for you because these commanders are all broken in this one insane way. And of course, there's a handy dandy card list link in that description below in case you want any of these cards in the episode. Now with all that said, let's jump into them. First up, Gev Scaled Scorch is, well, first of all, an incredibly underrated commander and one that is so cute and adorable and so incredibly deadly. A 3/2 Lizard Mercenary for 2 mana, just 2 mana in Rakdos. Ward pay 2 life, so you have to punish your opponents to actually, allow them to even target this. But the important thing here is, hey, other creatures you control enter with additional counter on them for each opponent who lost life this turn. By the way, whenever you cast a Lizard, Gev's like, hey, ping an opponent. Here's the thing. Again, this is one of those commanders that has more text on it than it needs, and players then underrate it because of that. They see, it's like Lizard Tribal. Oh, wow, weird. No, thank you. I'm not going to be scared of that. Yeah, that's their fault because, well, it's not Lizard Tribal. What you are literally going to be doing is, well, infinitely getting back persist creatures, which is insane because creatures like, well, Murderous Redcap, they love commanders that let them come into play with an additional counter on them. Murderous Redcap is a 2/2 Goblin Assassin for 4 mana in Rakdos. Comes into play, deals damage to its power to a creature or player, and it has Persist again, which a reminder is, hey, whenever it hits the graveyard from play, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, it comes back into play under its own control with a -1/-1 counter on it. Basically, it reanimates itself, and with this commander, it does that again and again and again because the commander says, hey, an opponent lost life this turn. Cool. All right. Have a counter. Okay. So this one comes into play then with a -1/-1 counter and a +1 counter. And because of a rule change years and years ago, those cancel each other out. Meaning this comes back into play without any counters on it, essentially. Or, I mean, maybe if, have a decent amount of damage to opponent, sure, like more counters on it, for +1/+1 counters, but that's fine. So as long as you have, well, this plus your commander, that is infinite, because it can actually deal damage to itself. But, yeah, if you have, well, let's say 1 free sacrifice out like Viserys here, which is amazing, sacrifice creature, scry 1 for a 1/1 vampire wizard for a single black mana, all of a sudden you can scry your entire library, but that doesn't really matter because you can just dish out infinite damage with Murderous Redcap to your opponent's creatures and their faces. Okay, I understand. Rules lawyers out there. Yeah, not technically infinite, but a trillion. Sure, why not? Anyways, Gev Scaled Scorch. Incredibly broken commander that is super underrated. And again, one of those commanders that has too much text on it where players like underrate it because of that. They're like, well, lizards, whatever. And you're like, oh yeah, it's lizards. Oh yeah, by the way, you're gone. Bye-bye. Moving on, a pre-con commander, a recent pre-con commander that, well, is severely underrated for, again, what it can do simply because, well, again, yeah, persist creatures, crazy with it. Gorma the Gullet, a 1/1 pest frog with lifelink for 3 mana in Golgari. Another creature you control dies, you get a counter on Gorma. Cool. Non-tone creatures you control enter with additional counter on them for each creature that died or control this turn. Yeah, this just kind of builds itself, doesn't it? This basically, again, says, hey, you know what happens? All right, when your non-tone creatures come back, they just keep getting more and more counters on them. So if you just have a persist creature, which this color combination has a good amount of them, and of course, you are in green, you are in black. There are tutors, especially tutors for creatures. You can also just, like, tutor to your graveyard and then reanimate creatures, too. Anyways, this also will get infinite counters on it as well. I mean, even like a Wing Rattle Scarecrow. There you go, a 2/2 Scarecrow for 3 mana. Hey, if you got a blue creature that's flying, doesn't matter. Persist as long as you're a black creature. There we go. So this is going to be, well, persisting again and again and again. Your commander even just fulfills that right there for you. And essentially, yeah, you got this, a free sacrifice outlet, and your commander, and you're like, yeah, I'm set to go. Okay, infinite. Okay, again, rules lawyers out there, I understand. A trillion counters on all the things coming into play, and a trillion counters on Gorma. Or if you just have, like, one Zulaport Cutthroat or whatnot, your opponents are just drained out as well. Again, a multitude of ways to take your opponents out with this crazy combination. And again, players typically, when they see a commander like this, they're just like, oh yeah, okay, cool, it gets counters, I guess, whatever, wow, ha 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 ha. And you're like, yeah, just counters, don't worry about it. Take them out. Grumgully the Generous. This is just persistently, there you go, see that, a commander that is super underrated because, well, it's an uncommon and it looks goofy. And yeah, again, players like, what are you going to do with that? A 3/3 Goblin Shaman for 3 mana in Gruul. Each other non-human creature you control enters the visual counter on it. Yeah, again, it's specific. Sure, it's non-human. Whatever. Who cares? Most of the, creatures that are, persisting are not human anyways. So, yeah, go get your Scuzzback Marauders. Ever heard of it? No? Okay, anyways. A 5/2 Goblin Warrior with Trample for 5 mana and Gruul. Yeah, those don't look like your typical goblins. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't really matter which of the persist creatures it is, as long as it works, and all of a sudden, there you go. You got your free sacrifice out like a Goblin Bombardment or whatnot, and you got your infinite combo going. Again, a commander that looks goofy, a commander that is an uncommon, a commander that is super underplayed, like this one, flies under the radar and can just do some absolutely crazy and broken things. So yeah, you know about that. Your opponents probably don't, though, and you can just decimate them with a commander like this. One that is super under the radar, though, for different reasons. Denry, Klin, Editor-in-Chief is an Azorius commander. No one expects the Azorius to do this, especially one like this, a 2/2 Cat Advisor for 4 mana in Azorius that is reading a paper. Yep, reading a paper. Anyways, enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1 counter on it, first strike, or vigilance counter on it. Yeah, you're going to choose +1. Whenever a non-tone creature control enters, if Denry has counters on it, put the same number and kind of counters on that creature. Now, here's the thing with this one, actually. You can be really sneaky with it as well and actually build in the opposite direction, getting a -1/-1 counter on it. There's ways to do that with different cards, obviously, so go find those cards and do that. And then you can actually do the infinite combo with undying creatures, too. So, there's ways to do that, of course. That being said, yeah, I mean, if you just want to go straight forward and be like, yeah, okay, +1 counter, cool, all right, let's find a persist creature. Okay, need to do these colors. Again, players don't expect persist infinite combo in Azorius, but sure, River Kelpie. I guess this one's actually kind of more limited for the number of times you can do it, but you're going to win anyways when you do it. A 3/3 Beast for 5 mana in blue. Whenever this creature on the permanent enters the battlefield from a graveyard, draw a card. Player casts a spell from a graveyard, draw a card, and it's got persist. So yeah, this one again, at some point, you need to stop the combo because you're going to actually lose the game unless you've got like a Lab Maniac out, actually, which can be a win condition for you, obviously, because you just drew your entire library with this, basically. But yeah, there's other persist creatures as well. Glenelender, Archmage, anyone? Gross. But yeah, Denry, Klin, Editor-in-Chief, again, super under the radar for this kind of a strategy because, again, it's a Cat Advisor that is reading a newspaper in Azorius. Players are like, wow, that's interesting, cool, what are you going to choose, Flying or Vigilance? And you're like, no, actually, you know what? I'm going to choose +1 counter. Okay, all right, let's see what happens here. Persist. Game over. Next up, Master Chef. Yeah, remember backgrounds? Here we go. A 3 mana Ledger Enchantment background in green that says, commander creature you own have, this creature enters the additional counter on it. Other creatures you control enter the battlefield with additional counter on them. Yeah, again, this is just like the, hey, yeah, I'm just building this, whatever. It's got, this card and I guess this commander. You can just pick whatever you want. Again, you can pick any 2-color combination with this because obviously you can pick any commander that has choose a background. So there you go. Do so. Pick your choose a background. Pick your commander. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that I want to go and go, let's say, Golgari, okay? All right, cool. I'll take Viconia, Drow, Apostate. Cool. I mean, at some point, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. It can actually give you benefits, obviously, if you choose one. But what you really care about is having your commander in play and having your background in play, and that's basically it. A 2/3 Elf Cleric for 3 mana in black that apparently, again, the background was set at one point in Viconia's, life, was a Master Chef. There you go. That's like the background for it. And then turned evil. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 more creature cards in your graveyard, return a creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, being able to get creatures back can be huge, obviously. Again, because we talked about this color combination, you can go tutor up cards in your graveyard, like entomb them, that kind of stuff, or you just get a creature back that, maybe got dealt with. But yeah, go get your persist creature, and all of a sudden, you win. You get it. I mean, you obviously need, like, the free sacrifice out. You need, like, the payoff again, the Blood Artist type effect to drain opponents, but still, it is such a flexible commander, again, because it's like the background of a commander. It's very flexible in what kind of deck you want to build around it. So yeah, pick and choose and actually just dominate your opponents with this. One that you might not have seen coming, and your opponents definitely won't see coming, Giada, Font of Hope actually can do this. Yeah, a 2/2 angel for 2 mana in white, flying vigilance. Each of the angels you control enters the counter on it for each angel you already control. Tap for a white, spend it only to cast an angel spell. Yeah, again, you don't expect this out of Giada, but you can do it with Giada in mono white. Yes, you absolutely can. Because of a little card called Twilight Shepherd, a 5/5 angel flying vigilance for 6 mana in white. Enter the battlefield, return to your hand all cards in your graveyard that are put there from the battlefield this turn. It's got persist. You can do some even more crazy things with this, obviously, because you can just keep bringing everything else back from your graveyard back to your hand. So if you've got, well, I mean, 0 mana spells and that kind of stuff as well. So you're like, oh yeah, cool, all right. Yeah, I mean, 0 mana creature spells or 0 mana, permanent spells. There's only so many of those out there, but there are infinite combos you can do with that too. You can just keep getting those back again and again and again and again and again. There's some weird things you can do with that. Obviously, you don't even need to necessarily do that, though, because you're going to be infinitely getting this back again and again and again and again and again. And you might be thinking, well, I do need a free sacrifice outlet in mono white. Actually, there are free sacrifice outlets outside of even just the Phyrexian altars, etc., that are in colors that can be in any color combination. But yeah, there's a couple of enchantments actually that can help you out there, too. Yeah, make sure you check out, well, certain things like, Fanatical Devotion. Really good cards. Anyways, Giada, Font of Hope is a commander that, yes, is angel tribal typically, but you can take it in a different direction and be like, yeah, it's angels, yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, persist, infinite win con. I am the greatest. Next up, Tromwell, Seymour's Butler. A 2/3 Elf Advisor for 3 mana in green. Each of their non-tone creature control enters an additional counter on it. By the way, by paying 1 and tapping, you proliferate X times actually the number of non-tone creature control that entered this turn. Yeah, you can do some really crazy things with this one that can be super fun because, again, once you get going, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I had a trillion non-token creatures enter. Because, well, again, I've got let's just bring up one, I guess, persist creature in green. Hey, airy oofs, there we go. A 3/3 oof for 5 mana in green. So sacrifice it, deals damage, deals power to our creature with flying. It's got persist. So yes, you can actually just keep sacrificing this to take out your opponent's flying creatures, which is quite funny. That being said, being able to go, oh yeah, hey, all right, I've got my infinite persisting. Cool, all right, it's going again, again, again. And then all of a sudden, I activate my commander's ability, proliferate X times, which again, let's say, a trillion times that happened. Cool. All right, my Astral Cornucopia. Cool, an artifact for XXX. As X charge counters on it. You just need 1 to start. Tap, choose a color, add 1 mana for, the color of each charge counter on it. And then you're like, okay, cool, I proliferate a trillion times. Okay, cool, this has a 1,000,000,001 counters on them. Cool, I tap it for a 1,000,000,001 green mana. Yay! Yeah, you can do some crazy things with this one because, again, the proliferation of a 1,000,000,000 times is pretty insane. I mean, obviously, you can even go, Infect with this one as well if you want, and that kind of a spicy victory. I mean, have you ever gotten a 1,000,000,000 poison counters on someone? There you go, have fun. Anyways, Tromwell, a good addition to this lineup of commanders that can do some absolutely crazy things with persist creatures. Moving on, this one will be a bit quicker because, again, it is in green like Tromwell is, does not have that ability, but still one that is going to be, well, very surprising for your opponents who are not expecting this. A 2/1 Elf Noble for 3 mana Arwen, Weaver of Hope. When each other creature control enters the battlefield, a number of additional counters on equal to Arwen's toughness. Players are obviously expecting you to go like, okay, pump the toughness of this and bring creatures into play. And cool, yeah, utilize that. Maybe even go like Elf Tribal in a way. Sure, yeah, why not? Okay, and they're like, yeah, that's what you're doing. You're like, no, Woodfall Primus! 6/6 Treefolk Shaman for 8 mana in total. Enters battlefield to destroy target non-creature permanent. It's got persist. This one you need to be careful with, obviously, because it does force you to destroy a non-creature permanent. I mean, you can just win the game right there. You don't just keep going, obviously, after you destroy all your opponent's non-creature permanents. I mean, basically, what this is, it's a combination where you're like, okay, hey, yeah, all your non-creature permanents are gone, including your lands. All right, now I'm going to stop the combo now. Okay, I'm not sacrificing this any further. Yeah, you can obviously use like a greater good to sacrifice this and draw a ton of cards too as well. But yeah, you're going to stop the combo right there. You're not just going to keep going. And you're going to have all the things, and your opponents will just quit at that point because they don't have anything else left. Yeah, again, with combinations like this, obviously know your play group. With decks like these, know your play group. Know those are your LGS. Again, if players aren't okay with infinite combos, yeah, maybe don't utilize a deck like this. That being said, if you ask ahead of time, players are okay with infinite combos, players are okay with that kind of win condition as well, go for it, because Arwen, Weaver of Hope is absolutely disgusting with the right build. One more quick example in green, another super underrated commander that, again, no one expects to go in this direction. Renata called to the hunt. A star 3 demigod for 4 mana in green. Powers equal devotion to green. Cool. Each of the creature you control enters a counter on it. Awesome. Again, that's like just like tacked onto the commander, essentially. Like, yeah, by the way, hey, you can go counters with this build. Yeah, again, literally just like this, plus like Sacrifice Outlet, plus like a lesser Masticore, and you get there. A 2/2 Masticore for 2 mana, just costs cast spell, discard a card. Well worth it. 4 mana, deals 1 damage to our creature, has got Persist. Again, the thing that matters is literally it's a 2 mana creature that has Persist. You're going to win. Essentially, that's all there is to it. Again, you're in green, you got ways to tutor up creatures. Cool, good for you. You can do it. Again, this is one that is super underrated because, again, it's an uncommon commander that absolutely no one plays. And you're like, yeah, I'm showing up to the table with this. And players are like, ha ha ha, I've got the Ur Dragon. I'm going to win. You're like, yeah, I've got Renata. Okay, cool. All right, lesser Masticore. Goodbye. Ha ha. And finally, okay, I'm cheating with this one, but what I want to show you is that, yeah, you can build a persist crazy deck like this with any kind of a commander, but yeah, especially one that you're like, hey, yeah, Niv-Mizzet Reborn, I get all the colors. A 6/6 Dragon Avatar for 5 mana in Wooburg, the best color combination in my opinion. It's got flying, enters battlefield, really top deck on your library. Hey, for each color pair, choose a card that's exactly those colors from among them. Put the chosen cards in your hand, the rest of your library in random order. Basically a massive card advantage spell. Again, you're basically playing like guilds in a way, and a lot of these persist cards again, and a lot of the cards that again help with it, again, getting those initial counters on them, not just the commanders I brought about that do have 2 colors, but there's obviously other colors as well, cards as well that do that. But of course, a lot of the persist creatures themselves, because it came from back in the day when there was like the hybrid mana symbols really prevalent in certain sets. Yeah, Kitchen Finks, cards like that, you can just go get that. A 3/2 oof for 3 mana in Selesnya. Enters battlefield, you gain 2 life, it's got persist. Again, literally with this, it's like the opposite of Murderous Redcap. You're gaining infinite life when you are comboing with this. Congratulations, good for you. Okay, rules layers out there, a trillion life, whatever you want. Anyways, being able to essentially utilize all the persist creatures, being able to utilize all the different payoffs for persist, all the different sacrifice outlets, all the different ways to get more counters on things. Yeah, Niv-Mizzet Reborn is a great choice for this. And again, opponents do not expect it at all. So yeah, if your playgroup's okay with it, make sure you're building around this crazy combination. And with that, this episode is come to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.